Welcome to Securing Multi-Tier Modern Application Architecture with VoltStack. This demo will show you VoltStack Secure Ingress and App Security. As a quick recap, this is an example 3-tier demo financial application that simulates a bank's payment processing network. These 3-tier applications are currently deployed in a single VoltStack Kubernetes cluster, segregated via Kubernetes namespace. In this second demo on Secure Ingress and App Security, I'm going to enable a WAF policy based on OAuth's top 10 security policy on the load balancer. In addition, you can apply service policy to further create a fine-grained authorization or fine-grained access control, and you can potentially if it's an API server, you can do a rate limiting on the API as well. This is an example Bank of Volterra application. Let's try to, currently there's no WAF policy are being applied. Let's say if I let's try a few attacks or try to do injections. Let's say, for example, create a user called test. Let's say test 123, test 123. For example, if I try to do some SQL injection, for example, and let's try to see if I do a create account. You can see that this application doesn't prevent you from creating a username with a SQL injection. What I mean is that actually this application by default is not vulnerable, and it does accept this malicious code. Or maybe if I try to log out, sign out, maybe try another one. Maybe let's see, test 2, test 123, test 123. Let's say script one script. Basically, this is just a SQL Java cross-site scripting attack. Say so it doesn't stop you from, or stop me from creating as well. It doesn't look like account creation fail. What I'm trying to show you is that it is not blocking you from injecting any malicious code into the applications. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to enable the WAF policy, so that any malicious code that coming in to your web tier front end will be rejected if it detected the malicious code. Now, if I go into the console, go to the BOA web. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to the HTTP load balancer. I add it under the security configuration. Go to advanced. Currently, there's no WAF enable. I'm going to specify the WAF, and I have created a default WAF strips policy. If I want to do some rate limiting, as I mentioned in the beginning, if it's an API endpoint, you can do a rate limit, and I can do some user identification policy as well, like UBA, or maybe a JavaScript challenge or CAPTCHA or policy-based challenge. And in this demo, I'm not going to enable those. I'm going to just do the, for example, the top 10 type of a security WAF policy. Save and apply. So what I mean here is that currently in this front end, I have enabled in this load balancer a WAF policy, a web application firewall policy. So now if I go back to the Bank of Volterra, if I try to create an account, let's try to create a new account called, let's say, test 1, or maybe FPGen 100. Right, so this times probably I'm going to use the same as well, using maybe the cross-site scripting. not cross SQL injection. And if I try to do a create account, you can see that I get into the sorry page. Basically, this is a forbidden page. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Unfortunately, we are unable to serve you right now. Please come back later. Or maybe if I try again using a different attack signature, maybe this time I'll try to run. Probably this time I will try to run, say 200. Maybe I'll run a cross-site scripting script. Alert, maybe 99 script. Maybe I use the same one. What I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to trigger some attack signature here. Yeah, this one got blocked as well. If I go to the HTTP load balancer security monitoring, you can see that a few events got created a SQL injection. If I see whether if I refresh it, you can see SQLI malicious user. Let's look into the security event. If I hide this, you can see that I'm trying to in the sign up. Probably you can see that I'm doing, you see, the SQL injection. If I look at the JSON, this will give you some information like it is triggering the OAuth call set on the web attack SQL injection. Then this is the top 10 A1. The source is actually is coming from 110. This is X-folded 4, and I'm hitting this, and you can see that the WAF mode has got blocked, response codes for XX, and etc. The details of the attack. If I do a refresh again, last 5 minutes, maybe last 1 hour. So you can see that there are various type of attacks got shown here. I don't have any malicious user event because the event that I'm generating is not really a lot. On the DDoS event as well, I have other applications that have more event and more activity, which is a vulnerable application, which I store it in here. It's called Hackerzone. If I look into the security monitoring for this application, you can see that there's a lot of events happening. Let's say, for example, if I go maybe the last 24 hours, you can see that there's a lot of attacks coming from the United States and from Germany and from all over the world. This is a security event by the location, and this is all the WAF rules that's got hit. There's a bot as well as the scanner and the malicious user. If I go to the malicious user tab, it shows me the activity of the malicious IP addresses or the malicious user event that's happening on this particular load balancer or on this particular FQDN for the last 24 hours. So if I look at the events, like let's say for example, this is a high, threat level is high, and this is from this IP address. I'm able to deep dive into the details, like for example, how many requests is coming in and what's error, whether are there any failed login, and what's the WAF event, security events that is trigger this. If I want to specifically block this user, I can click here, block user, and it will bring me to a screen that I can actually block this client. It gives you a timeline on when it is happened and when it starts and when it stops. This is all the user event that you can see that is happening on this particular particular application. Or you can go to the security event as well. This is where we see all the events that's happening and the details of the event. Like for example, this is coming from Netherlands on this particular FQDN. And if you want to see what's got to trigger this, you can look into the this is a scanner user agent, and there's a lot of information that you can obtains from here. You can do your triage. We can see that it's actually running a nickel scan, triage, and your analytics and analysis on what's happening. And we can see that this hit one of the OWASP. This is automation security scanner. There's a lot of details that you can derive from here. If I look at the that is a malicious user event, as what I've shown you. I don't have any DDoS because it's not that easy to simulate a DDoS. And for the requests, this is all the requests you can see from here. Maybe the real time. The real time, if let's say maybe last 1 hour. This is the real times activity that show you how many requests, how many is error, what's the drop rate, or what's the web security event. This will give you the real time activity. This is a demo for the secure ingress on the app security. From here you can see that I have successfully applied a WAF policy on the HTTP ingress, and any malicious traffic that's coming in will be monitored and blocked. Thank you for watching.